What is up, guys? Welcome to Truth and Transparency Friday night date night with yours truly. We're looking at right around an hour, 50 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour here, closing out your Friday night. So again, welcome. And hello to the moderators. Love you guys. The members, subscribers. Do me a favor, make yourself known at some point. If you like the video, thumbs it up. If it wasn't your cup of tea, also make that known as well. Either way, make yourself known. If you guys checked it out, I did drop a pre-record. It dropped about 30 minutes ago, about 9:30 Eastern Standard. I am going to drop it one more time. And then I'm going to talk about some other things, and round up with some questions and comments and stuff from chat. So again, welcome. Here we go. December 28th, 2022.
He joins us in studio with what he's learned. Jordan, what can you tell us?
Well, the highest priority at this point remains tracking down that white Hyundai Elantra that was seen near the crime scene. But amidst thousands of tips law enforcement has received, it's been like tracking down a needle in a nationwide haystack. It's been 6 weeks since the murders of 4 U of I students. Law enforcement with limited answers, though with plenty of leads to go off of.
Investigators continue to work through over 17,000 tips and leads that we've had thus far. The last number that we had were over 250 interviews have been conducted thus far, and that number continues to grow every day.
Despite the sea of potential leads, no substantial updates have been announced in weeks. I asked if there was anything that they could share that might indicate that they're progressing in this case.
It's hard for the people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 17,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing to move forward, and we've got investigators working on this 24 hours a day.
Despite little information to go off of,
there are a lot of theories out there, and
250 interviews. Was one of those Bryan Kohberger. A needle in a haystack. 22,000 white Elantras.
Investigators continue to work through over 17,000 tips and leads that we've had thus far. The last number that we had were over 250 interviews have been conducted thus far, and that number continues to grow every day.
Despite the sea of potential leads, no substantial updates have been announced in weeks. Progressing in this case.
It's hard for the people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 17,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing to move forward.
The behind the scenes. Again, this interview was just one day before the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. November 25th, 2022, Moscow Police Department asked other local law enforcement agencies to help find that white Elantra. November 29th, Bryan Kohberger's white Elantra is found. November 29th.
Progressing in this case.
It's hard for people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 17,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing to move forward.
December 7th, the PD then officially asks for the public's help to find that White Elantra. It was seen at the crime scene. I believe the driver and or passengers have critical information for the investigation. Be on the lookout. Were the police looking for the passenger of that car to come forward? Because the police already had Bryan Kohberger's 2015 White Elantra. They already knew that he was a driver of a 2015 White Elantra. Now, this would be December 14th.
A big break in the case. A grainy image of a speeding car that could be the white Hyundai Elantra police are looking for. A night manager at this gas station in Moscow, Idaho, discovered surveillance video that showed a white sedan driving by on the night the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered. The timestamp says 3:45 a.m., right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to police. It shows the car traveling on this road outside the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
From the probable cause 329 to 402, the White Elantra is seen making 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residents according to that probable cause, with the 4th time being at 4:04.
Students were murdered. The timestamp says 3:45 a.m., right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to police. It shows the car traveling on this road outside the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Who's out at 3:45 a.m. speeding? And this is significant, Harris, very significant. In a town of less than 50,000 people, less than 30,000 people, the driver has not come forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Bryan Kohberger in Idaho.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police. There are several.
Again, this mobile gas station in Moscow, Idaho, 1.2 miles from the 1122 King Road. Residents 4-minute to 5-minute drive, depending. 3:45 a.m., traveling away, they say, from 1122 King Road residents. Troy Road is also known as Highway 8. So this Elantra with the missing front plate that is traveling away from the house at a fast rate of speed would be leaving prior to the homicides. But at the time, the homicides for the public was between 3 and 4. The probable cause says the suspect car 1 was seen, again, 3:26 a.m., 700 Indian Hills, 3:28 Steiner, and then that 3:29 to 4:02. 3 passes. They never talk about this clip.
Were murdered. The timestamp says 3:45 a.m., right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to police. It shows the car traveling on this road outside the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Who's out at 3:45 a.m. speeding? And this is significant, Harris, very significant. In a town of less than 50,000 people, less than 30,000 people, the driver has not come forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Bryan Kohberger in Idaho.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police. There are several.
What date and time did that night manager turn over this footage to the police? Because the police didn't come to her. Okay, she did this on a hunch. So at that point, the police didn't do any of this going and getting and taking anybody's DVRs or anything like that, their hard drives. They put out to be on the lookout December 7th. Then someone takes a picture with that from their phone. My guess would be the manager at some point before she turned it over and gives it to the news, and that's what they're reporting on. And that's what that report is from December 14th. But the police don't mention this at all in the probable cause. Interesting, right?
It's
I think the
just
most
1.2
interesting part
miles
is-
from the house where the students were murdered.
Is that she
News
had
out
to
at
turn in the
3:45
footage.
a.m. speeding. And this is significant, Harris, very significant. In a town of less than 50,000 people, less than 30,000 people, the driver has not come forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Bryan Enton in Idaho.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police.
Again, this is the white Elantra that is missing the front plate, right? And the one that all of us were looking for, right? Correct? The one seen just after the time of the murders, right? The PCA says the murders were between 4 and 4:25.
The car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
The night manager says she was acting on a hunch and went through hours of surveillance video from that night. Turns out her hunch was right. Now questions are being raised about why a month after the murders, that gas station video and others from businesses along Route 8 had not been already examined by police.
And right there, that's the best part of the video is why wasn't this already examined by police? But more importantly, you're looking for an alleged white Elantra from back. You knew about this vehicle and that you knew that you were looking for one. And when you think about it, this manager turns in the footage. It wasn't like police came to them. So now the other thing is that people want to say, oh, did they not turn back their clocks for daylight savings? Well, then it puts you at 2:45, and then you have a white Elantra that would be in front of this gas station and the one in WSU at the same time. So anybody that's going to talk about the daylight savings on this camera and it didn't get pushed back, well, then you're putting Bryan in the same place at the same time. So again, I just want you guys to think about this though for a second. The media puts this out. Everybody starts looking for this white Elantra, and all these tips start coming in for this white Elantra, flooding both to like the PD, then that the FBI, they put it over there. Meanwhile, they've had Bryan and they've known that he has a white Elantra Okay. They didn't ask for any of this footage. And then poof, this woman happens to find this, happens to turn it in, do a good deed, turn it in, also turns it over to the news. And now, boom, we got a problem, folks, because this never supposed to surface? Because the police didn't go and get this. That's not how the police got this. This person went and gave it to them. This person went and gave it to them. Again, it's all right here in front of our eyes. This happened all right in front of our eyes. Again, right there at the end. And then I'm going to show you guys something.
Had not been already examined by police.
Again, let's think about the wording. We want the person or persons, we believe that the person or persons in this white Elantra has critical information that could help us with this investigation. We are looking for, this critical, this came out on December 14th, 2022, this news broadcast. December 7th is when the Be on the Lookout came out. But yep, they had Bryan Kohberger 11/29 because of the 11/25 law enforcement Be on the Lookout. Okay. And then listening to this guy talk about all these tips that they have to go through, all these leads that they have to go through. And they're asking for this white Elantra after they have Bryan Kohberger for over a week. So you just flooded the tip line. What, after the fact, so that you could say that you looked for other white Elantras? I mean, but you're flooding the tip line for other things that could be important if you already have, that. But then you think about this, they already had Bryan Kohberger, right? And they probably weren't going to say anything about a white Elantra, right? They probably weren't going to say anything about this white Elantra. They already had Bryan Kohberger because they had this white Elantra from, let's say, the neighbor's camera, right? So you're not going to say anything about this white Elantra. But then this woman brings this to you and shows a white Elantra at 3:45. But why did you even have to say anything? I mean, you said it on December 7th, but you already had him on 11/29. Doesn't make any sense to me. But then this woman finds this, and it goes viral.
The exact direction we don't know. We know that it was on Highway 8, right in front of the gas station, and turned onto a side road. It appeared the car was headed out of town, and reportedly the assistant manager at the gas station said it was going quite fast.
And then we hear Nancy, who would ever drive that fast at the time of the murder? Who's going to be out and about like that, she goes all ham on that. And, but here they keep talking about what a fast rate this person was driving, and it's like, okay, so this person was just driving all over. This car was just driving over Moscow and whip back around, and to get on back over by King, they're just driving all over. Like going at a fast rate of speed at 3:45. What, to just get pulled over by all those undercover cops? You're just speeding all through there. No, they're making it like, hey, this person's getting away, right? But then they're like, yeah, oh wait, no, that's not going to work because the timeline of the deaths now are from 4 to 4:25. So what's this now? What's this white Elantra going to do for us? But Isn't it crazy how all these people, yeah, you said, oh, wait, that's the wrong car. That's what they're going to say in court. That's the wrong car. Yep, that's the wrong car. That's the wrong car. But what you have here now is you have a bunch of these Elantras. You have a bunch of these Elantras. You said, yeah, that's the wrong car. Well, this is what America thinks it is. Now look at from that picture. Can you see any identifying marks from that picture? Any plates? No. Right there. Here it is. This has been the famous pick. Look at that.
Forward. Why?
Inside Edition spoke with News Nation's Brian Enton. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Who's out at 3:45 a.m. speeding? And this is.
She says speeding. So just driving around because we got to make all these loops and whoops and swoops and pulls. So now it's going to be really interesting. This vehicle, if this vehicle is here at 3:45, okay, because then what I did is I took out my whiteboard and I said, okay, well, it's not like it can't just go back over there, right? But how many times could it make those little swoops and loops and pulls? It depends on what time the different camera caught it. But if this is on a different camera, when it's supposed to be on a camera that's up on the neighbors, this is problematic. And they're going to say, well, that's not the car. That's not. So we got this white Elantra that we were looking for is now not the white Elantra. So you get what I'm saying, guys? Do you see? And all of this starts to happen. You knew you were looking for a white Elantra when? Right off the rip. The murders were on 11/13/2022. And then did you hear the guy talk about how tedious the process this is? I played that part a couple different times because it's really important. Because he's telling us how tedious this is, all the stuff that we have to go through. We have 17,000 tips. There's just a lot to it. And there's a lot of behind the scenes that we don't know about. Well, you're damn right. There is a lot behind the scenes that we don't know about. I will give you that. That's what I think.
1,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing to move forward, and we've got investigators working on this 24 hours a day.
Despite little information to go off of,
There are a lot of theories out there, and
Investigators continue to work through over 17,000 tips and leads that we've had thus far. The last number that we had were over 250 interviews have been conducted.
Okay, so who are these 250 people that were interviewed? Because I can tell you that it's not the mobile gas station woman, okay? She definitely wasn't interviewed. 17,000 tips. But guys, there wasn't 17,000. It became that high after everybody was like, okay, looking for this white Elantra that you already had. I can slow down chat, no problem. So, yeah. So I want to know what you guys think. Because it's going to be great now when I hear everyone say, it's not the car, it's not the car, it's not the car, when everybody was saying, it's the car, it's the car, it's the car. So I think it's just going to go to show, like, also, mainstream media ran with that, and we all believe that that's the car. So everybody that's going to be on that jury is going to believe that that's the car, right? Because that's what America was told. So that's going to help who's ever the defendant. I'm trying to slow down chat for you guys. Hold on one second. We'll take it nice and slow here on a Friday night. I got you guys. So you guys having a good Friday? Maybe some of you guys it's Saturday. If you guys are in Paris. Let's see. Okay. I did that all for you. Saturday afternoon here? Good, good. 6 a.m. Okay. Anyways, I've been meaning to get this video out, and so I got it out. And I'm just curious to hear what people are going to say, because everyone's going to say these are going to be the 2 top answers. Survey says 2 top answers on the board. It's not the car. Okay, sounds good. And it's daylight savings time, so the time is off. Okay, so then Bryan Kohberger's in the same place at the same time, or it's all 3, or all both. It's both of them. I agree, Lana. Who would speed away in the getaway car from a murder scene? Also, but who'd be speeding before the murders, right? I mean, did this get seen then? And they're like, okay, wait a second. If this car's over here, or are they like, oh my God, that's not that car. There's a different one. So there's 2 white Elantras going around, or there are 3, or there are 4. That's what's going to be problematic. Is if this isn't the car, so now we have 2 Elantras running around, possibly more, Was it daylight savings? I'm just throwing that out there. Usually your cameras switch with it, so just like your phone switches. Can we wait till the discovery? Absolutely, but this has actually nothing to do with the discovery. This has to do with the probable cause. The probable cause came out. And now I wanted to talk about this video about the car and where it was seen and what it was seen supposedly doing, which was, driving out of town at 3:45, which would be before the murders now. So it doesn't mean that I don't think that this car can make it back over there, because I do. But I'm just shocked that this wasn't used in the probable cause affidavit as a, because it just says between 3:29 to 4:02, it made 3 passes by the residence. It is the car. Read the report and see where his phone pings. Are you saying that Bryan is going to go free? I don't know. Have I said that yet? Because I don't think I have, Jan. I'm saying that a lot of holes. And I'm saying that this video that they put out, why aren't we looking at the meat? This is what was put out there. Does everyone just forget what, we can't have short-term memory loss, okay? This video was put out about the car here. The car was seen, guys, right here. I mean, look at, this is what they gave us. Probable cause states this. This is what they gave us, and we're all like, let's go find this car. This lady brought it to them. The police didn't go get it. I think that's a problem.
Idaho students were murdered. The timestamp says 3:45 a.m., right in the time frame in which police say the killings took place. The video has been handed over to police. It shows the car traveling on this road outside the gas station. It's just 1.2 miles from the house where the students were murdered.
Who's out at 3:45?
Okay. So now think about this. Now we know in the probable cause that there is an Elantra. Okay. So think about this. Everyone's going to say, no, that's not the Elantra now. But in the probable cause, we know that the 1112 house, there is a white Elantra on their camera. Okay. What resembles a white Elantra that's on the camera. Okay. So now what this just created is either it is the car or it's not the car. but it's nowhere in the probable cause. And if you go back and you read now the discovery requests and what they want, I think a lot of things are off. Again, not saying that car can't be back over there, okay? But this was never, like, this camera wasn't sought after. The police didn't go, this night manager did this and then took it to the police. This is what led to Kaylee's dad and getting a lawyer and like a PI. Because like they say it in a recent interview that they do with Olivia, Chronicles of Olivia. They said it that the timestamps and stuff like that weren't matching up and weren't adding up. This timeline was off. So and I was thinking, I'm like, wait a second. Let's go back to this white Elantra. Where are we getting this white Elantra from? I want to know the dates on that we're seeing, like where this stuff came from. And then people are out there saying, yeah, well, the police didn't put it out there. Well, I'm going to make a police video about the white Elantra. We're going to talk about all the times that the police talked about, this white Elantra. Because, guys, they had the white Elantra on 11/29. They had it, okay? And they had the white Elantra on 11/25. I mean, they knew about it the day of the murders. They put it out to the law enforcement to help us find this. We're going to keep this hush-hush. Let's see what we can find. Okay, then they find Bryan Kohberger's white Elantra on 11/29. Okay, and then they really zone in on him because he fits the description of what Dylan gave, and to top it off, he's got bushy eyebrows. Okay, and they are on to Bryan Kohberger, completely opposite of what this guy is telling us on how this investigation has gone. Listen.
Thus far, the last number that we had were over 250 interviews have been conducted thus far, and that number continues to grow every day.
Despite the sea of potential leads, no substantial updates have been announced in weeks. I asked if there was anything that they could share that might indicate that they're progressing in this case.
It's hard for the people in the public to understand the inner workings and the things that are going on behind the scenes in an investigation like this. Like I said before, 17,000 tips and leads is a massive amount of information to analyze, review, and then get out to the investigators to work on. We are making progress. The case is continuing to move forward, and we've got investigators working on this 24 hours a day.
Despite little information to
right there, that this takes time, that this is and that's what I've been saying. You guys just don't stumble on Bryan Kohberger because of a white Elantra when there's 22,000 of them, okay? If there's no tie, if there's nothing tying him there prior to getting there to the white Elantra, because you got 17,000 tips coming in, okay? So this is all supposed to be taking time, because if you're doing a police investigation on something like this and there is no connection to the perpetrator and to the victims, then that's what makes it that much more difficult to where to look at. And then why isn't it in the PCA? And then, this is what we're all thinking, and this is what we're all going off of. And then but see, this video right here, this wasn't any of the videos that the police had. And now I just don't understand why. Why did it take this woman? If this woman doesn't go to the police, do you think that they ever get this video? Because they don't use it. They don't reference it. Or if they do, it's not in the PCA. Maybe they're holding it back. Maybe they're holding it back. But why would you hold back the one video that the public already knows about? You would hold back, something else. So, again, I guess people are talking about, is there a big Dateline on tonight? Moscow Police Department went out to the gas station to pick up the video. Yeah, because it was called in, right? Or is the media not being honest? Again, I don't know. I didn't vet this. I'm only showing you guys what we were all looking at. Yes, 2020 and Dateline. I know. I'm saving Dateline. Save me a date. So, anyways, then obviously I got a bunch of messages. So I have not looked at all my emails. I've looked at like 2 of them. But I did get a bunch of emails. So I will look at those. I heard about some caller calling in and talking about some things. So I'm actually going to be putting a couple different videos this weekend and drop them how I like to, and then we can talk about them and things like that. So it's a great question right there. How did they have him pinned as a person of interest? Yep. That post seemed very sus. Yep, 100%. You don't say that you're doing this anonymous and then basically say that your family and one of the daughters. Oh, thank you. It's hard, Lana, to do what we do. There's a lot behind the scenes that people don't realize. You are amazing. I do appreciate that. Unsolved crimes uncovered. Okay, so I love all of you. My husband is OCD. And I'm trying to get him to watch you, but when you eat, his brain makes him quit thinking. Got you. Quit listening. Is there any way you can save the goodies? Oh, I'm not eating. I'm sucking on something because of my voice. My voice is so choppy right now. I have no voice. I used it all week. But I'll do my best for you and your man. I gotcha. Yeah, if you guys aren't getting notifications, just if you unsubscribe and resubscribe, it usually can help that out. So yeah. Oh, there we go. Dateline has interviews with students, families, etc. Well, one of the calls that went in, it was a caller that called into, I think it was like, what was it, the turkey show? I don't know, it was a Mod Squad here. And they said that 2 of their kids went to, the university, and that they were saying that the cops were over there at 10 a.m. or something like that. I think that was one of the people that called in. And I had just listened to it for, not that long. It takes me too long to make videos. Yeah, that's it? Okay. Well, also, it wasn't until I did want to make it a point to definitely hear what Kaylee's family had to say. And I thought that was really well done. And make sure you guys, it's like 40 or 50 minutes. Go check it out. So I went and listened to that. That's the thing that I listened to today. And it broke my heart how the family found out. And I didn't know that. I didn't know all those details anyways. I mean, I know that it was like I don't think there's any good way to find something like that out, but that they found out that they heard she was shot. She was shot. So I'm like, shot? So I don't know if you guys saw that. If you guys haven't watched it yet. At the end of your last live, you seem to have an aha moment. What was it? So I've been looking into the Quad Drug Task Force that's part of Washington, Moscow. There's like 4 or 5 surrounding cities, and there's this drug task force. And just looking into people that were a part of it, what it does, it takes down a bunch of the trafficking. And I wanted to learn more about the city and what type of town it was. Like, I really didn't think anything went down in Idaho and that area. And so I wanted to like look into the area. And drugs is a really big problem over there. Drugs is a thing. Drugs is definitely a thing. So, but yeah, that was my leading into the aha moment of the wording of the seal. I think that whatever's in that apartment, whatever was written down, they got to Bryan Kohberger's name for a reason. And whatever's going on, there's like an operation that needs to finish. You don't bring 42 FBI agents and then all of the Idaho State Police, a lot of involvement. Isolated targeted attack. But yeah, they were told Kaylee was shot. Isn't that crazy? It was like a mass shooting that that they were having a party and someone came in and shot up the place. It's like, wait, what? And then that woman that called in about her 2 daughters that go to the school, talking about that house being a well-known trap house. I'm like, what's a trap house? I heard about those on the rap videos. I just hear about them on my rap videos, okay? I think I know what a trap house is. What's a trap house? What's your guys' definition of a trap house? Oh, that's what Kaylee's parents were told on when someone had called originally. They had said that Kaylee was shot, that something horrible happened. Yes, I know it's a drug house. Drug den, interesting. Yeah, so many ridiculous rumors, absolutely. But what wasn't a rumor, though, to me, is who the heck would call somebody's parent and say this to them? And hearing, somebody came into a party and like, that's what it said. They were at a party and someone came in the house and shot the house up. Did you guys hear that? It's on the interview that Chronicles with Olivia did with the family. Yep. It was a family member that called them because that's what they heard. Wild. So sad. I thought that that was really well done. And I love how they said that we don't want anyone to go through what we went through in the process, and that, this whole slower process of like telling people something. And, we live in the age of like, it's 2022, it was, now it's 2023. And like, we're the data age. And how could getting us that information not have happened quicker, things like that. And, they were talking about how they want to help anybody that would ever be in that situation. If there's like an organization to put together that, helps people in, situations like that they've been put in. With the media, and then like, whatever you say gets analyzed, like, oh no, this is the word he used, or you got to be careful about saying this. And So it was, that's actually when he said that, it made me think of why I started my nonprofit. And it was to help families that were in situations to navigate through the criminal justice system to be able to, and I mean, if you don't have money, how do you go about, if you're wrongfully convicted, how do you do, you're wrongfully convicted, you have no money. Your family barely has any money. So it's, I love when I heard him having the family say that, because in a time like this, they're thinking about other people and that they don't want them to go through something like that. So. Oh, another shooting in Quip. That breaks my heart. The interview that I'm talking about is the interview with Kaylee's family that Chronicles with Olivia put out. I think it was this morning that she put that out, around noon, maybe, something like that. So she did it as a documentary style thing. And she had a sit down interview with them. Yes, Boston, I agree. Such a nice family. Why would gas station lady suddenly have a hunch after so long? It's not after so long. That's the thing, guys. She didn't have a hunch after so long. They didn't put it out to the public that they were asking for a white Elantra until December 7th. December 7th. That's when they put it out to the public. The gas station lady didn't do anything wrong. The gas station lady, none of us knew about a white Elantra. We didn't know about a white Elantra. The police did, but they didn't make that public until December 7th. Then the news puts that, puts that clip out December 14th. And so she clearly had to go between December 7th and December 14th. So nobody held on to anything for 2 weeks or anything like that. If there's one thing you can't get past me, it's dates, numbers. So again, and then she just went ahead and did it on her own. It wasn't like during the time period of November 13th and December 7th, there was no law enforcement officer that called or came by and said, we want you to pull your footage between, 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. So, how did the lady working there know about the car? Because of the news. They put it out on December 7th. And then she went and looked through her stuff. And then she was watching her surveillance. I mean, what do you do at nighttime when you work at a gas station and no one's there and you're just sitting there I guess they watch YouTube. I'm going to start going to all the gas stations and saying, hey, you need to watch my YouTube channel when you're here at work. But yeah, so it went out to all of us publicly December 7th. And we were looking for that, white Elantra from December 7th to, and at no point were we ever told to stop looking for the white Elantra. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. No, yeah, no problem. You guys do know when it looks like shit, smells like shit, it is shit. That's what I was taught. I haven't done any videos yet, but there's so much going on in my brain. I would love to share it with someone. Put it on out there, girl or boy. Thank you for saying I'm amazing. I needed the confidence. Absolutely. You got it. Lana, are you a journalist? I think anybody can be a journalist. You don't need a degree for that. So sure, I'm a journalist. That's how I feel about a lot of things in life. If you want to do something, just do it. You guys think about it. What could possibly Bryan Kohberger have in his apartment? that would be like the wording of that seal that just it's crazy. Thank you very much. Love what you are doing. You think logically and outside the box like myself. Love it. Love it. Love it. Lana, do you think he did it? I don't know. I honestly, I have no idea who did it. I like to go based off of the evidence. I've always been like that. I think that when you get a bunch of data like this and you got to break down a bunch of stuff and you got to do like a lot of policing to, pinpoint who this could be, and because you don't have the DNA, and I just think that if the only thing in that house that's going to have any DNA on it of his is that, sheath, I have some problems with that. From what I'm told, I've never seen the crime scene, and if it is what they say it is, I'd be kind of shocked that he didn't hit himself. I mean, look at he can't even shave his face. But yeah, I don't give opinions like that until if you don't have it. So I support our law enforcement. I support both sides. I support justice. I support truth. So I don't think that, and that's kind of why I love, Kaylee's family. They want the right person, or they want the right people. And, yeah, I think just like there's great people in the world. No matter what you do as your occupation, some of the people that have an occupation of this are going to be, great. And there's going to be some people that have that occupation that are not going to be, great. So I think it's not easy to be a teacher. I don't think it's easy to be a cop. And too often we hear about in those positions, the bad apples versus the good apples. So I support our Constitution. I support, we have rights, and I support doing things the right way. And when somebody is so guilty and you have like the world against them, you don't need to cheat. Just do it the right way. Make sure everything's, just done the right way and get your conviction. That's what I believe in. And if you got to make something fit, maybe it doesn't fit. Freedom of speech, baby. Yep. Hi. Oh, good for your son there. He's an awesome police officer. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're proud of that too. You should be. I think anytime you pick a career that you want to help people, it's a good way to go. Every case does have holes. Absolutely. I don't think it would be easy to be on any jury either. Can you imagine being on a jury? You decide the fate of someone's life like that. Oh, spending your first Friday night here. Welcome. Tennessee. You're the only 10 I see. Tennessee supports Atlanta. Woo woo. Love it. Oh. Do I think that he knew the other guy that got shot? Because I don't know. I thought that whole situation was weird, though. I don't know what they're saying there. I'm saying that I wanted to bring it back to everybody's attention. Hey, guys, we can't forget about this white Elantra over here at 345 that's, supposedly going at a fast rate and trying to get somewhere. And, I teach criminal justice. There you go. Good, yes. Teachers, coaches. Yeah, like was the car that took 9 minutes, why was he picking that up? Welcome. It wasn't BK car. And guess what? I'm totally on board if it wasn't. But what I think you're gonna have a hard time problem with, like this problem is it's gonna be like this. Well, do you have clearer pictures of these vehicles? Because from these vehicles that vehicle that we just saw, does it show that it doesn't have a front plate? You can't see a plate. And I think that now you have 2 Elantras. Also, what if you didn't go out and get a bunch of surveillance footage? Because you had your person, right? You have your person. But in order to fight the case, you'd want to go out and get as much video footage as you can to try to find white Elantras, to say that it could be somebody else, right? But like the longer that you wait on this case to, arrest somebody and do it like that, then you run the risk of, well, if the cops didn't go out and knock on the door and get a bunch of surveillance, then you're stuck with people not even having that footage anymore and it being, recorded over by the time you get to trying to get your hands on something that could be exculpatory for you. FBI didn't need to go across the country if FBI was already there. So will this case have an NK too? I think something's up with the whole name of the suspect vehicle. 1. Suspect vehicle 1. Oh my God, you read my comment. I'm fanning, girl. All right. There you go. FBI is across the country. That's the best comment right there. I said at Truth and Transparency, Lana, what did you mean when you said the other night that DM is BK's alibi? I said, could it be that DM is BK's alibi, meaning this? If he went there and picked somebody up and they went and, I don't know, got high or did whatever, took him back, had sex, did whatever, and then he brought her back and dropped her off, and that's why he was there at 9:00. If he says it about something, like why, if he did ping there and he's there and he says, well, yeah, I was there the night before too to pick somebody up, but I think that would have come out sometime at some point in the investigation. But it's when they said they interviewed 250 people at that point, I wonder who these 250 people were. Let's say that Bryan was banging the neighbor. Bryan was banging the neighbor chick. How about that? So if he says he was dropping somebody off and they're like, yeah, I was with him that night. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that Bryan would have somebody that I was over there. I picked up Sue, and then me and Sue went and screwed. I don't know. And then took her home in the morning. Anyways, but you got to think, why was he there at 9:00 in the morning? Thinking of Bryan banging. Yeah. Mama Fee. Love you, Mama Fee. Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Love you. Poor Sue. Love it, Heather. That was great. That made me laugh. Ugh, Sue. Is there any Sues in here? Sorry, Susie. Thank you for your channel. I'm so thankful for TNT. I'm thankful for you guys. I'm so Thankful for you guys. Like I said, I'll be there for the hearing. I already got my and I won't be telling any of you guys where I'm staying, but I already got my arrangements. And we got a lot going on with that too. I'll be doing a lot of prepping for that. Yep, 100%. They won't tell us everything that they found. They shouldn't tell us everything that they found. But what I like to go back now is we have an opportunity, and so I'm going to try to do this thing where like I may pick a day where I do like a week where I do each show that's like an hour, but to go back and I'll put them all on like a video, but to make a video of it, like to recap everything that was said so you can hear it again and to see where we're at right now, because this would be a very, very tedious investigation because of all the digitals that they did use and to put this all together and to be able to say, okay, this is our guy. And because at the point that they did all of this, guys, there was no DNA. There was unidentified DNA. Okay. And so again, I keep saying, how do you get the name Bryan Kohberger? And I'm telling you right now, it's not because of this white Elantra. It's just not. Sorry. He may have a white Elantra. A white Elantra may have been there, absolutely. But you have 22,000 white Elantras. You don't get to Bryan Kohberger with a white Elantra from the murders being on November 13th to November 29th if there isn't some connect. Did you watch the 2-hour Dateline special tonight? It'll explain a lot. Well, I can say that I definitely have not watched it yet. I've been here right with you guys, loving every minute of it. I asked BTK daughter about the internship question. Oh, yeah. I just don't get waiting hours to call. See, I think that if you're up all night, guys, if you go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're not getting up at 8, you're getting up at 11 or noon. I mean, that's college life. So that to me isn't a thing for me. I think it's more like at the time, we didn't know that anybody went through what they went through. Okay. So I never had a problem with calling at 11 or noon, in that range. That's when you wake up in college. But when you hear then the probable cause, then that's where now it becomes a problem. So, yeah. Apparently his sister lived in the neighborhood, so we'll look into that. Yep. Yes, the ping is not GPS, guys. It's all towers right now. This is all just where he's pinging. It's in a radius. It's in a circle radius of that's the tower that 1122 uses. Okay, there is no GPS pinning him down somewhere. This is his phone hitting off of a tower. That would be the same tower that the girl's residence would hit off of, which is going to be in a radius. Also, I have a huge problem with the amount of time that they think that this happened the following morning. It's just not going to happen that quickly to make that round trip. And how are you doing that? From 9 to, I think it's from 9 to 9:32. So, yeah. Then once they get his... Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he had on him, what they got. I mean, if you don't have that phone anymore, you're going to have to use like, if he had Facebook, if he used any type of app that did like locations that was in the cloud, Atlanta, where was Bryan at the time of the 911 call? Well, they say he was out driving to go to that, grocery store. He is a good lawyer. I think that they need all of the 6 months here to really kind of figure out what's going on here. Like, because let's say that if Bryan didn't do it and you have all of this stuff, or everybody thinks that they have all this stuff right, and Bryan didn't do it, well, somebody went through a lot of trouble to make it seem like you did, so that would mean that you're going to have to go through a lot of trouble to prove that you didn't. Again, that's just my opinion. Yeah. Now you guys got me wanting to go watch Dateline and pass out. So, and that's what I'm going to do. Told you guys I'd keep it right around an hour. That's what I like, 50 minutes to 60 minutes. Thank you. I love probing. Come probe with me tonight. Oh, that's awesome. That made me laugh. Yeah, I think it's interesting, the wording there. I'm telling you guys, they got the name Bryan Kohberger for a reason. Someone said that name. That name came up. Go back and look at the discovery words for the request, and then go look at your PCA again and look at some of the wording. Look at some of the wording, guys. It's and then if it was just, he got caught, he's sloppy, he's crazy, he's this, he's that, okay. You get over to his apartment, I mean, and there should just be no issues, right? Because he's just, but there is issues in terms of like whatever's in there, we can't talk about it. There's stuff going on. But how about this? They wait, Bryan left with his dad, and that apartment was open to anybody that could either break in or had a key. That apartment was left, when he left, 15 days. 15 days. What do you think Bryan would leave in there? I know I wouldn't be leaving stuff in there. I'd have a storage unit. So, but yeah, he remember, he gets in his car with his dad, so he leaves, and that place was, if you don't think that the defense can use that, like, he wasn't even at his house for the past 2-3 weeks. I think people have got some alibis. We don't even know what, so I'm interested to hear what, they didn't put it in the probable cause. Like, what was Bryan Kohberger doing all day? What was he doing before he was preparing to go slaughter 4 people, guys? Come on. Like, that's so important. And I'm going to be covering Delphi this weekend as well. Really want justice for, I want justice for everybody, but the girls, the families, all the victims, that town has suffered. And so I do have a playlist for the Delphi stuff that I have. Doing some stuff on Sherry, doing some stuff on Davon and Sheldon, and then I'm going to try to have a life as well. So, but yeah, we don't know anything about that day. And I think that that's just, for that not to be in there, to say like what he was doing all day on Saturday. Why? Love the bombshells. You make us wait so long, though. I'm sorry. I had a bunch of crap I had to do this week. Is there confirmation that BK's sister lives in Moscow? I don't have that confirmation. I got some other type of confirmation. It has to do with some other connections. And like I said, I'll be putting out a couple videos this weekend. So, I do know this, guys. I came across, and this is going to be in one of my videos, I came across Bryan Kohberger's cousin. Okay. Well, his cousin died. I don't know if it was from suicide. I don't know, but he was 24 years old, 23 for 24 years old. And it was his, so obviously Bryan Kohberger's dad is like this kid's uncle, right? And he's listed in the obituary as, the mom and dad are listed as the, aunt and uncle. But then I go through this whole obituary, and this is Bryan's cousin, and his name is nowhere in it. Like Bryan's name is nowhere in it. So I'm gonna show you something. Not tonight, but this weekend when it comes out in a video. So welcome as the new teammate right there. The cops told us to look for the Elantra on December 7th when they had found it the week before. They were just trying to keep us distracted so they could watch Bryan. They even gave us the wrong year, in my opinion. They have an FBI specialist that's going to be speaking on him changing those years from the 1 year to spreading it out. But I think that they want to maybe see if Bryan would come forward. If they were to say that we're looking for, a white Elantra, they may have information to see if he would insert himself in the investigation. Again, that's me speculating. To see if he would insert himself. They had the Elantra from the get. Yeah, they knew that they knew the Elantra they were looking for. You guys, they didn't have the Elantra, like they didn't know, there was no identifying marks on this Elantra because it would be in the PCA. Like they're labeling this vehicle as suspect vehicle 1. Because maybe then what they try to say is, well, if it's not that white Elantra, then it's this one. I don't know. I think that's, but yeah, there's no identifying marks. So nothing in the PCA does it ever say, like when you're talking about his cell phone, it's an identifying mark with the last 4 digits. There's no identifying mark when you're talking about the car. So you got to put him on that car. And if the defense can put him off that car. So, and what I just showed today in this video, definitely does not help the prosecution, in my opinion. You're going to have somebody come forward that's going to say that that's my white Elantra, where I was going, show your cell phone, do all that to be like, okay, that's that person. You know what I mean? And they have to be believable and everything like that. That's what you're going to need. All right. Welcome. All the new members, welcome. Give the video up, a thumbs up on your way out, a thumbs down, up to you. And we will do this again very, very soon. All right, you guys, take care. Keep being kind to one another in chat. And as always, appreciate all of you guys. Chat soon. Good night, moderators, subs, members. Always a fun chat. So peaceful. When I'm in Moscow, I'm going to do a meet and greet. I'm going to do a meet and greet in Moscow, Idaho. Hopefully JRL will be there. I'm going to buy that man a dinner. I'm going to ask him if he will bring me some media shirts, though. So, all right, guys, take care. Till next time. Good night.